Good morning to all, and I'm happy to be here with you. Thanks for inviting us here. Actually, first of all, I want to say that my English is not good as much as maybe my husband Misaq can talk, but I try to say something about myself. Actually, the story of our life or married life was told with Misaq, and you know all about that. And you know that we are from Afghanistan. We are about 2 years in here, living in America, in Pittsburgh, beautiful city of Pittsburgh. And just I want to thank from all of you, how do I say, beautiful people or kind people that always try to help with others, especially with refugee families. I have two women groups, I'm leading them. And all of them have their own different stories from coming to the USA. And all of them are saying that the people are helping them in the USA. And all of them have friends like you. They are serving, they are helping. And I'm really appreciating you people. I like to use beautiful. I like to use kind people for you. Yeah.
When you were young,
yes.
And you were aspiring to be adopted.
Yeah.
But you weren't allowed to be adopted. Is that so? Would they allow women to be doctors in Afghanistan?
Right now? No. When I'm actually a pharmacist. Yeah, I'm a pharmacist. On that time, yeah, we were allowed to study. After the first time Taliban were governing on Afghanistan, after that, the girls or women were allowed to study, and I could study. I'm a pharmacist, but right now, no. I'm very, very, very sorry, and I'm very sad for the Afghan women and girls who are still in Afghanistan, and they are not allowed to study. They are not allowed to even go to school. And they are just sitting at home and no studies. And we are very, very sorry for their future. If it goes like this, it continues. So we are very worried for their future. Close in here, not. Yeah, in Afghanistan. My own family, my dad's family, they are in Germany. But they also have their own story. They had to go through difficult ways to reach to Germany. They passed maybe 4 or 5 years in the way in different countries like Turkey or Greek till they could go to Germany. But from my husband's family, that now they are my family. They are still in Afghanistan. My father-in-law, mother-in-law, sister-in-laws, brother-in-law, all they are in Afghanistan. Yes, yes. We are communicating. We can talk to them through Messenger. We can have video call or voice call to them. Yeah, we can see them. But unfortunately, we have girls in our family. My sister-in-laws, my brother-in-law, they have young girls. They were studying. They were going to school, to the university. And they were working very hard. My sister-in-law's daughters, they had concours examination. Do you know concours, am I right? Concours examination for their exam. Even they were not coming to our home. They were studying all the nights. They were working very hard to pass this exam. But unfortunately, when they passed the exam, they could enter to the very good faculties, economy and computer science. But now they are at home. They could not continue or proceed their studying process. And our young girls, my brother-in-law's girls, they were in 11th grade, but they are at home now. And they, how do I say, we are very sorry for them, and they are also very sad. They are passing a very difficult time.
And we should say your English is very, very strong.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is so kind of you. Thank you.
And any other questions for?
Where in Afghanistan is your family, and where are you from? Are you from Kabul?
Originally, I'm from Parwan province. My husband, Misaq, is from Ghazni province. It means we are from two different provinces.
And where are they located? Are they on any extreme?
Parwan is mostly in the middle or in central, is a central province, but Kabul is mostly northeast or in the eastern side.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Our families didn't know each other. We didn't know each other. And we were co-workers. Yes. And it was in 2010.
Yes.
And working together for a year, and then we fall in love.
Is this television?
Television. I'm in that hour news. I'm the main anchor for the Afghanistan news, and she is casting the international news.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I guess now I remember. You went to Tokyo.
Yes.
To go to graduate school.
Yes.
I guess I haven't met too many Afghan students like in the U.S. Was that very common to go to Tokyo, and do you speak Japanese?
I do a little bit. Arigato gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning.
Check, 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 check.
So,
Do you think maybe we turn it off somehow? All right.
in the past 2 decades, there were good opportunities for Afghan young men and women to study abroad. In the US, there is the Fulbright scholarship. That scholarship from Germany, and the scholarship that I studied through is peace, not the word peace, promotion and enhancement of the Afghan capacity for development. Because I was working with government, and that scholarship was for government employees, for enhancement and promotion of the Afghan government capacities. So I had the privilege to study, with that scholarship. Yes, sir.
One of the things that we sometimes think in our, this is from my prejudicial brain, that people who are refugees, immigrants coming to our country, well, they don't know very much, right? They walked here sometimes, and this realization came to me knowing these two folks, that they come from the upper echelon of their society. And the story that Bob Naden tells about asking Misaq what kind of car he drove, he said, I drove a Toyota Highlander, armored, of course, because he worked for the government. And then Mr. Watanyar, Misaq's friend, Bob said, and what kind of car did you drive? And Watanyar said, it was a Mercedes, C-Class though. So, bright, driven, flexible folks who, and many of you have seen their son, who's been, I say at some point he'll be a senator in. Yeah. So.
Always your kindness. Can we scroll down the photos? I would like to show you. Yeah, this is an interview with Anders Fogh Rasmussen. That he was the general director of NATO, and I had an interview with him in 2013 in Brussels. This is in NATO TV station studio in Brussels. Keep moving, please. Maybe you're familiar with the face of Ahmad Shah Massoud, the national hero of Afghanistan. And this is his brother, and we are talking about the resistance against Taliban and the fight against Taliban. But they got over. Keep moving, please. Scroll down. Yes. I'm not going to talk about this. I don't like this guy. Because he was the peace, he was the head of the peace council, the negotiation, the head of the delegation, peace talks, and he, my friend, he was the spokesperson for the U.S. Embassy in Kabul. Mr. Helton, and Mr. Abbas Kalwan, he is an Afghan American, and he was the deputy spokesperson for the U.S. Embassy in Kabul. And this was during a farewell party for a friend, yes, 2013. And we talk about the Afghan and U.S. relations. And this is about 2014 that the U.S. government decided to withdraw troops from Afghanistan. And the catastrophe started from that moment. Here, this is a Taliban leader that he was in Kabul and collaborating with the government, with the peace talks and negotiations with Taliban. At least he was not violent. I'm on a duty in Helmand province, the most war turned province in Afghanistan when I was working for the Ministry of Counter Narcotics of Afghanistan. And we were there for a campaign of opium poppy eradication. So we were destroying the opium fields. That was the main financial source of Taliban. So I fought against Taliban for my whole life. And yes, and these young men that they were, you know, the Afghan police forces, and we had other units as well. Yes. Keep scrolling down, please. I don't want to. This was during a campaign that I was leading the campaign, anti-narcotics campaign. This was the moment that I was leaving Kabul. She was the Minister for Ministry of Counter Narcotics of Afghanistan, and my team, and this was a farewell party that I was leaving for my master's degree.
So you were going to Japan?
Japan, yes, that was in 2015. This is my first photo in Waseda University campus in Tokyo. And I got my Japanese residence card with a student visa, and this is my Waseda University ID card. Keep scrolling. Yes, and this is the moment. Can you zoom in a little bit? Yeah. This is from my graduation. Professor Yasushi Katsuma.
There's a pointer, the red button.
Thank you. Yes, how it works, yeah. Professor Yasushi Katsuma in my Japanese degree. This is the Waseda University campus. Keep moving,
Misaq,
please. Yes.
Is there an Afghan community in Japan at all?
There is. Afghans are everywhere. Because of their American friends. Just kidding. Because of the war. Christmas in Tokyo, 2017. Hasti, the Japanese girl. Hasti, Mahdi, in Disneyland in Tokyo. Yes, almost 1 year. This is the radio. Steve, where are you? Yeah. Steve, this is the NHK World Japan studio, radio studio. And I was a student, and I was the only Afghan student that I was allowed to work in Japan as a journalist. Yes. And here are other folks mostly from Iran, because we were producing and presenting a Persian language program for Afghanistan, Iran, and Tajikistan, broadcasting for these three countries. And this is the time that I joined the presidential palace, Afghan presidential palace. Yeah, I got my IDs. I had to keep them. Administrative Office of the President, and here are all the, how to zoom out this? Can we zoom out a little bit? This was during the conferences in Ghazni province, yes. Here is Misaq talking to Ghazni folks in, yeah, Mr. Ajmal, Don, you know Ajmal Garwal, he's there. Yes. Yes. So we had to travel through the air on a helicopter with security team, because of Taliban. And it wasn't an easy job, for a young man. Absolutely, but we were fighting for our future. We were fighting for peace and democracy. But we lost. We lost again. I was the head, the chairman of our community association in Kabul. This is during our election, and I was elected as the chairman of the community association.
Misaq,
Yes,
can we interrupt just for a second?
sure.
What is your name?
Maudie,
Maudie.
That's the English pronunciation.
That's. What is it at school that you like the best?
Jim,
Anything else?
probably science.
And what's the best part about being in the United States so far?
Being safe.
I like that, man.
Do you remember living in other places?
Yeah, once we went to Dubai and we went to Japan.
He got a good memory.
Yeah.
He was 1 year old when he came to Japan, and he remembers everything.
Could you tell us very quickly the story about you moving out of your ESL class?
I just got like all A's on my test, and like I was the only one that got out of ESL.
And could you please tell us about your swimming teacher and how that happened?
My swimming teacher is Mr. Don. Once we had a pool party, and he taught me how to like swim.
Yes. We had a great time, and the Nadens were so gracious to open up their home for our gathering. Thank you, Misa.
And that happened in an hour. He turned to a fish. Yes, please.
I just want to say thank you for the thoughtful story that you say as you immigrant from all these places and you came to America. I'd like to tell you, welcome to America in Espanol. In behalf of my people from Puerto Rico, I came here 31 years ago. At the beginning, it was not that easy because you are in a very different place. It took me a long time to adjust it. I had 2 boys, twins, 31 years old. Next week is my birthday, 65. I would like to say in Spanish, Bienvenido America. And from my country, Puerto Rico, I also say welcome to you. Bienvenido America. Y te invito, and I invite you, when you wanted to go on vacation, when you ve de vacaciones, y disfruta mi bella isla de Puerto Rico.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias. Appreciate that. Yes.
This is totally off what you were talking about. What was the hardest part that the U.S. government played in your coming to America?
I don't want to talk about politics here.
Okay, that's fine. That's all right.
No, please. What was the hard part?
Yeah, did they help you, or did they hinder you? I guess is what I'm saying.
It was by them in the beginning, and it was by them at the end.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely. Those 2 gentlemen that was on the one photo, Mr. Robert Helton, the spokesperson, and deputy spokesperson. When the government collapsed, and I was hiding somewhere, and I got a text from Mr. comment on Facebook Messenger, and that was only 3 words, "Are you safe?" And I said, I don't know what's going to happen next. And he said, we cannot promise, but send your copies of passports and travel documents, and we will try to get you out of that hell. Yes, and definitely yes. We came during the evacuation time. The evacuation program by the US government and US allies opened the doors for hundreds and thousands of Afghans that they were not safe anymore in Afghanistan to come to the US. And as an emergency response, that was absolutely amazing. They were able to get thousands of people on the airplane and get them out of Afghanistan in third countries. And still, there are like around 50,000 people in third countries, and they're waiting to come to the US. And the US government is working with them slowly after going, through the background check and stuff. But yes, and we were blessed. Yes, and we got lucky, definitely. This was the moment that we fled Afghanistan. This is I covering, and that they shouldn't be able to recognize me, I was a face, we were a face. And these 2 young men, Arman, my nephew from brother's side, and Elham from my sister's side, and Hasti. And why I choose to bring them, because they were the most vulnerable and the youngest men in my family, and I didn't want Taliban to change their mind. There was that reason for me. I grabbed them because they were very young and they were easily get mind washed, and I didn't want them to become Talib in 5 or 10 years, because young men are the target for Taliban because they want to turn them to their soldiers. Yeah. And this is in Abu Dhabi. During the time, this is the moment that we arrived in Abu Dhabi International Airport, and this is in a temporary refugee camp in Abu Dhabi, and we were boarded on this US military aircraft. It was a, big aircraft with no seat, and we were sitting on the floor. Yes. Can we, okay, all my work backgrounds, media, government. Keep scrolling down, please. Oh, I love this photo. And I started my first job in Pittsburgh as a door-to-door representative or door-to-door sales representative for Verizon. And I didn't have a car at that time. And I was walking in different neighborhoods and selling Verizon Wireless and Verizon Internet Fios to people. Fios Internet. And here a big change started. I got a car, that black dude.
Is that the car as a dude?
My dude. A dude is a help, you know, a dude is a, I don't know what you use, she or he, for a car in the US. Maybe she was taking me to every place. Oh, Mr. Don and Mr. Bob, they worked for 2 months to get the car ready, you know, because it was parked in the garage, and it was a nice vehicle.
It's a blessing. It's a good thing. Misaq passed the car along to a second family. Do the Garwals still have it?
They still have it.
Which is just tremendous. It's a great part of the story that it's still helping someone.
They're a family of 7 as well, and they use the car, and that's the only vehicle that they have, and that vehicle helps them to get to their doctor appointments, to get to work, to buy groceries, and everything. And that's why I said a big change started. Mahdi, he was walking from Giant Eagle or Target like 3 miles away from our home with bags, and we were on the street and people were like, what the hell is going on with them, you know? Yes, we were walking up the hills, down the hills with the plastic bags full of grocery to feed the family.
I remember once we had like drinks, Monster, in the bag, and like it all went down the hill. we went running down the hill. Me, Armand, and Elham, we went running down the hill and getting them all.
And when I got a car, I was able to get a better job, and I started my second job in Pittsburgh as a refugee caseworker with Jewish Family and Community Services, JFCS. And then new opportunities opened up, and I was able to talk to communities, you know, about immigrants and refugees here in Pittsburgh. And this was at Jewish Center, Family Center, and there was I think this was last year before the Christmas, and we were talking to folks about refugees in Pittsburgh. And one more place, I think that's the last, yes. So now this is the men's group that I was leading. Thanks God that they are now on, by their own, and they are good to go. I'm not leading the group anymore, but Zainab, she's still leading the women's group. This is my youth council. I'm still leading this youth council. I'm working with these young men and women for a better Pittsburgh. Afghan Youth Council of Pittsburgh. And this is the Hazaras Cultural Center of Pittsburgh. These are just names now, but we're building our institutions.
Can you tell us what Hazaras are?
We are Hazaras. And Afghanistan is a very diverse country and a country of minorities. Pashtuns, Hazaras, Tajiks, Uzbeks, Arabic people. Like, we have 19 ethnicities in Afghanistan, and we are Hazaras. Hazaras are the most persecuted population in Afghanistan, the most deprived population in Afghanistan. And still, the genocide is happening. Because Hazaras are like Zainab, that she is an educated woman. She was a teacher, she was a pharmacist, she was a journalist. And people that they don't like us because we're modern, maybe in their eyes, or we treat women and men equally, that's why we're the target for them. And we have been the target for decades and decades. And the genocide, if you Google Hazaras in Afghanistan, unfortunately there are sad stories of bombing their schools, bombing their athletic centers, gyms, bombing their mosques, bombing their communities. Why? Because somebody was talking about genocide in Rwanda, my friend, yeah? Yes, the same in Afghanistan. We are a victim of genocide and it still is happening. Afghanistan is home of Hazaras, but it's not a safe country for Hazaras because of their democrat way of life and thinking. This was during the Pittsburgh first international festival, like a month ago in downtown. And here is Hazara community with Mayor Guinea. Yes, and we were part of the March group, and there were 30 nationalities attended that festival. So how diverse is Pittsburgh now? This is Zainab's office. This is the immigration mate office. We have a dream. We want to help more immigrants and refugees from nationalities. So this just started here, and hopefully, yes, sir.
I was talking just a minute ago to one of the folks who was in the sanctuary during your talk earlier. She said that you brought her to tears, and she said, "I'm ready to volunteer. How can I help?" When other people say something similar to that, how might they become involved with Immigration Mate?
First, what is Immigration Mate? The theory behind Immigration Mate is that immigration is a long journey. It's at least a journey of a decade to be resettled, to have a safe new life in a new environment. So these folks, like as you said, it takes years and years to get resettled in a new place. And everybody is limited, every entity is limited, every organization is limited in terms of work and scope of their work. So resettlement agencies, they are with refugees only for 3 months, and that's it. Because they have a cooperative agreement with the government, and that says only 3 months and then leave them to find their way. And from there, we all believe that the rule of the communities starts. But Immigration Mate will be a refugee mate. So who is a mate? Mate is a community navigator. Mate is a guide. Mate is a counselor. Mate is a good friend that helps you until the success arrives, until you're safe, your family are safe, and you have a safe life. So please, we need people to help folks with their driver's license. We need you great people to help folks pass their asylum interview, their citizenship course. Now we are working with a family that they have been here for 7 years, and they are on their way to apply for citizenship, but they don't know what to do. And they have to pass a citizenship test to become American, and we are working with them.
You're assuming most Americans.
Yes.
It might be good for us, too.
Yes. Yes.
And also, you guys have to be very hard because I feel the pain that you have. And you have to live the way you want. And you don't have the opportunity to go back there.
Yes.
For example, in my case, I can go anytime I want to my island and have the joy because we have a territory, United States.
Yes.
And even if I would not be a territory, let's say I'm from the Republic, it's more easy to travel. But I know in my heart, I can feel it in my heart, that you wish to go to visit your land and people that you still have there, their family, but you can't. And I know you have to live here with that moment that God had to make your heart very strong as you pray. And I will pray for you too.
Thank you.
Because
That's true.
it is just something, it's an emptiness that no matter how good people are going to treat you here,
Yes.
that space that you have there, that you live there,
Yes.
it only can be filled by the grace of
Yes.
God.
Yes. Yes.
And amen.
That's true. That's true. But more than that, it doesn't matter. Of course, we miss our home. Everybody belongs to a piece of land. Definitely, it's natural. It's normal to miss your home. But it's more about if you're standing at this spot, what you can do. At Immigration Meet, we want to empower people. We want to educate people to be a good American, to be a good Pittsburgher, to be a good neighbor for you, to make the community safe. Because if they are doing something wrong, the community is not safe. And definitely they are coming from a third world country, and they need to know. We lived for 3 years in Japan. We know about life outside Afghanistan. Somebody else have the experience. But 99% they need to learn about it.
A simple example, and you all are welcome to join me. Now that Maki has progressed to the fish level, I have my first student, Zainab, in the Don Smith driving school. So
Yes, the second student. Zahra was the first student. Yeah.
right. So anyway, if you would like to help us teach people how to drive, you're more than welcome to do that. And I think there are lots of other ways that Misaq will explain that we can help. Patty offered furniture today. Tim Miller offered furniture. Ralph and Susan Fink offered furniture. So many of these folks arrive and they'll find a place to live, but there aren't any pieces of furniture. And so, yes, ma'am.
I have some furniture that I can
All right. I think we're right on the verge of having a furniture club. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
There is always a room for your intervention and contribution. Your time, your presence, and your money. And that money brings $1 million. And you will wonder how. Like that car enabled me to make more money, to drive, and to make money. Well, this is how we live in Pittsburgh now. She's the leader of the women's group. We are bringing out the community, getting integrated with communities in Pittsburgh, and still learning from each of you. And still way to go. And still, I don't know, how can I help Ilham or Armon with their college? And Mr. Don said that I can talk to Ilham about his college because he's in 11th grade and he needs to decide about his college. And I don't know. I can find some information from Google. I can do a little bit research, but that will not be practical maybe. Maybe the school can help, but a kind and I am trying to find a word for a kind person like Mr. Don, that can work with Ilham, my nephew, to make a better decision and to go to a better school and to make a better life. So each of you can be Janet, each of you can be Don, each of you can be Kate, Steve, Susan, everybody. It's just take a part and play your role and bring a change and do your job for God. He will love you. I think still we have one more. Yeah. Yes. This is for the Presbyterian Community Church and for the Ben Oven Church. Hey, we don't have any official name, but we do festivals. We do. Yes, this was during the Nowruz Festival 2022, last year. And Nowruz is the New Year celebration in Persian calendar, like Christmas. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Afghan Friendship Association of Pittsburgh presents this certificate of appreciation to Community Presbyterian Church Ben Oven in grateful recognition of your generous support and outstanding efforts in volunteering with refugees and immigrants in Pittsburgh. You're already appreciated. Yes.
Now we can get framed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there is another festival coming up, and we were talking about that yesterday, and that's interesting that that's the same longest night of the year that I saw on the church calendar, and we also celebrate the longest night of the year. We say Yalda night. What do we say? Yalda? Yalda night. And I've shared the flyer with Mr. Smith, and please, I don't know, do we have a WhatsApp group, Facebook group for the church or website? You're most welcome, but you need to buy a ticket for $20.
It's the same night as our longest night celebration. Observance, really, not a celebration. But it's everything red. So when you look at Misaq's website, it's watermelon, pomegranates, roses, all things red.
Yes. And the theory behind that celebration is fighting against darkness and bringing lights and brightness. Even it's a long, dark night, but we are awake and we are hopeful and we are celebrating. And darkness, just go away. You cannot overcome in any means, in any ways. Because we are the light and brightness seeker. And He is the light. And we love Him. Yes. So we work with community. We do festivals, introducing, I'm not going to say new culture because I see that exists in this community, but in a different name, giving you a different interpretation of the longest night of the year, giving you a different interpretation of New Year celebration, giving you a different interpretation of Halloween, Thanksgiving. We do have Thanksgiving, we do have Halloween, but not the same you celebrate it, but it's the same tradition in a different way. This world is round and everything gets around easily, but you see from a different angle, different perspective, somebody else see from a different perspective. But it is our small planet and our shared home, which is round, and everything gets around. And I'm sorry, I think I'm I'm sorry. Why? I'm talking too much. All right. More questions?
Are there any other questions? No?
I'm curious about the food because I work from a doctor from Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been learning we have to do a lot of different varieties of food, like I make basmati rice, and I have to make okra, samosas.
You will
What is
love.
the food that you really
You will love it. And you got lucky that Zainab, she's a good cook. Yes. So let's do yes.
Today?
Yes.
Haji? No.
Khajur.
Haju.
It's Hazaragi donut. Afghanistan Hazaragi donut. Khajur. Let's do a food festival. Yes, and Afghan ladies, Zainab and her team will make delicious food for you. And let's do it at the church sometime.
Like after Christmas. We should
After
do a
Christmas.
Super Bowl.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yes.
That would be fun. That's the dark days of January. Or the best time to do that kind of stuff.
And if you have any question about the Afghan food, you can always ask Mr. Don.
So true.
Maybe sometime if I pick all the things I wanted to give it away, do you bring a transportation to pick all the furniture?
Yes. Yes.
I'm ready because I really want to make it all the
Once you're there tomorrow.
So we have trucks lined up for next week to pick some things up. So I'll reach out.
I get a list of things that I have, like chairs, table, maybe
Yeah.
pictures, maybe a crochet blanket, whatever.
Marvelous.
Dishes. I
Yeah.
have too many dishes.
Good.
Dishes, all kinds of
Nice. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Folks, I did my responsibility. I did my job. I shared the story with you. Now it's all yours. Now it's all yours. And if I have my rule, and I can, or Mr. Don, he has his rule, and that's what we do. But let's do it together. Let's do it together.
How about if we close in prayer? Yes, Henry. Okay. Henry says maybe we could put Misaq's immigration page on our website for a short while. Just
Yeah, we'll figure it
okay. All right.
Immigration Mate office is on 4 Smithfield Street, right across the street in front of the Human Services building. Good location, nice view. Just stop by for a coffee. We have free coffee. It's a business-wise shared office. And we are renting our desk in the corner, but we can use the whole space. And we have good coffee, good tea. Just stop by anytime. And you will get the nice view of Monongahela River, Smithfield Bridge, Washington Mountain. Oh, it's spectacular. And that's your office from today.
I mean, I commit to you today that we'll put together something that will give you contact information for Misaq, information about this new venture, as well as just, how to, I'll sit with Don and we'll make sure everybody has the information.
Thank you, Susan. Appreciate that. Sure.
Mahdi. He doesn't want to. Okay. All right. So let's close in prayer, and then we can chat for anybody who wants to stay. Lord, thank you so much for opening our hearts and opening our minds. Thank you to Misaq and Zainab and their family for sharing their lives with us today. Keep your hand on this church and all of our families throughout the weeks to come. In Jesus' name, amen.